Are you wondering how you got here? Yeah, me too. Well, we're here now. Let's get into it. So this is the one that I did the other day. So these go together pretty easily. You just insert the one side here. I turn it around and I just kind of bend it with my fingers a bit. Start it off, snap her into place, center it off. Call that finito. So I got some yellow ones here too. All right, that's a finished brood box. So that brood box is complete. I'm going to open this up and put it on here. All right, well, that's got brood box, the original brood box, which has the queen in it. This is the top brood box, which I just assembled just now. Cleaned up all the frames, put new inserts in, and stuck it on. I opened it up. I don't think I showed you guys, but 90% of the frames are full, like full of bees, full of everything. It is tight in there. So I'm gonna give them a little extra space. Well, a lot of extra space in terms of brood storage. This queen is laying good brood. She had it all around both chambers, so I want to allow her to continue to do that. The bees are going to have to draw out this comb. Obviously, I gave them all fresh, clean inserts, so I'm going to allow them to draw out that comb, and they're going to be busy on this up top comb here too. Maybe it gives them something to work on while it's so damn windy around here, so it should keep the bees a little bit occupied and give them something to do. It's been crazy windy these last few days. I think we got a couple more days of it, so hopefully that's how they decide to spend their time. I see in this hole all the bees have their butts up in the air, and I imagine that's a way that they talk to each other, but there's a lot of butts in the air right now and inside on top of the queen excluder, so maybe they're just excited, maybe they're pissed, I don't know. They all have their butts up. None of them are going in. That's okay. Here I am, dirty as can be. I just finished work a couple miles away. I've been getting blown in by dust and dirt and all the fun stuff. So I'm nice and disgusting. But I'm here with the bees, and I just figured a little post-work checkup. See how our splits are going. I'm not going in any of the hives. I'm just pulling lids, looking inside, making sure that we have bees that are still in their hive, essentially, making sure that they haven't gone back to the original hive and stuff like that. So what I'm looking for today is I'm just looking to see that all of these hives have bees inside of them, roughly the amount of bees that were in there when I split them in the first place. This hive right here behind me was super busy. So I did a little work off camera yesterday. All I did was clean frames. So I've cleaned some frames. I've got 2 boxes of frames, of clean frames, cleaned inserts, as well as some new inserts. Lots of them were really good condition. I inspected them, making sure that there was nothing going on, wax moss, stuff like that. I ended up cleaning that up off camera yesterday. And I organized. As you can tell, I don't have my windbreak right here anymore. I've moved everything there. I've set up these boxes. So I set these up. I set those up. These aren't to live in. Those aren't ready to go. They need to be clean, but I just wanted to have this space just a little bit more organized, as this isn't my land, obviously. These are the guys that I work for. I want to make sure that things look clean and respectable as I'm very appreciative of this opportunity that they're giving me. We've got things laid out. I threw a tarp down here and I've just thrown things on top of it. It's kind of a mess, but it's just to hold the tarp down. We're right on the edge of the field here, as you can see. That's the neighbors. This is ours. So that looks like it's seeded with a cereal crop, so our bees won't be over there, but they sure as heck will be over here. So I'm just gonna open these up, give you guys a quick little glance on what's going on inside. So what I've done here is the bottom frame is the split. The top frame I added yesterday, that's just a brood box that I just added in. I wanted to give them more space because all 10 frames are filled with bees there. Also, all 10 frames were filled with bees in the middle hive, which is the split from this. So they had 20 full frames of bees and there's 20 frames in this box. So it was clearly time to do something. I've given them this extra space because I just don't want them to swarm. So we've got the extra space in there. I am gonna put a honey super on this one as well, but I'm gonna give them, I think, a week's time. It's a number that I'm kind of comfortable with. So a week's time is kind of a number that I'm comfortable with in order to allow them to hopefully start drawing out some of those frames. If they haven't started drawing them out by the end of the week, I'm gonna come up with a different plan, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna just kind of play that one by ear. We're gonna not start on that one. We're gonna start on this one here. So this one here is the first hive that I didn't want to split. But I ended up splitting in the heat of the moment, which I regret, but nonetheless, it's split. So that box right there is the other half of this one. And we had about 2.5 frames in here of bees 2 days ago. And I would say we're at 3.5 frames right now. So that's good. It's a good sign. I kind of have my suspicions that the queen isn't in here, as these bees are very busy. I didn't see them flying around. I did stop in at lunchtime just to see what was going on here, seeing what hives are flying. I think these ones are queenless, just with their behavior. This frame is stuck right together, which isn't ideal, but they've worked on drawing all that comb together because I had all those frames out. They've drawn all that comb together, which kind of doesn't make it easy to check, but I'm gonna give them till this weekend and I'm gonna start pulling frames on this one and just kind of see if I've got a queen in there. We'll go over to the other half of her. And this one was about 3 frames of bees. And it's still the same, but this is the hive that I stuck in all that brood back in that was laying in the dirt. When you seen, I don't know if you guys remember seeing that, oh, there's my queen right there. I just seen her. She's going deeper. She's got a smaller butt on her, but I'm about 80% certain that's her. So that would confirm my suspicions that this one's got the queen in it. I did put all that brood in here. There's brood and eggs all in this side. It looks okay. I'm glad that they're working those frames still. I mean, like, they weren't just wasted on the ground, or not the frames, but that honeycomb, or that comb. This whole side of the box is, I'm not gonna pull any frames. This whole side of the box isn't being worked. This is the box that I told you. I was a little bit nervous to put everything to the one side, but I'm hoping that the heat and stuff, the bees will be able to hatch out all this brood. It looks okay. They're very busy. They're staying on top of it. So I imagine that's what they're doing, is they're just working on hatching that out. They're also drawing new comb, which I don't like. I don't like that at all. It is what it is, I guess. I don't know. I prefer that over just giving away all that brood and just throwing it away. So now we'll go to our second split. So this second split, I don't know where the queen is on this one. This hive, that hive, and this hive, are all gonna get honey supers. As you can tell, I don't know if you can see it quite well, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 full frames of bees. They need more room. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. When we get a nice day, I put some queen excluders on them when I split them. Lots of bees on the lid. And all of them up here. This one's got less bees in it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames of bees, maybe 6. All these frames were full, I think, except for one that I added. It's just one here on the end. All right, well that concludes our just peeking through the little lid there, you know, just trying to see what's in there. Some of the hives have queen excluders on. I apologize for that. I had them prepped ready to go so that we could put the honey supers on right away. No fumbling around, no messing around. Just get the honey super on, in and out. Then we're gonna get into pulling some more frames out and just kind of taking a peek at the bees. We'll be able to see the condition of the splits that I've done. I don't know the timeline anymore. I'm recording this in the present day right now. This footage is I don't know, 3 weeks old probably, so you guys are way behind where I'm at with the bees, but you're going to be excited to see what we've got coming in the future, so make sure you stay tuned for that. In this next set of clips, you'll see me just scraping some frames, getting into there, getting all dirty, you know, ooh, ooh. We're going to get into this next clip here, and we're just going to start scraping some frames and getting these honey supers ready. Thanks for tuning in. So, I'm keeping it on because the mosquitoes are horrible. I don't care if I look awesome. I'll just continue to look awesome. So this frame, this frame, this frame all have fresh inserts, and they also have clean frames so that we can give them to the bees. They are honey supers. So I'm gonna put 3 honey supers on today. I'm gonna leave the main hive that I've already put a second brood box on. I'm gonna allow them to draw that out a little bit. That's a decision that I've come to. They're just barely starting to draw the comb. I don't wanna overwhelm these bees and give them too much, as the nectar flow is mediocre at best right now, but I've got lots of supplement food. I've got old frames of honey that came with these hives that I've set out to feed the bees. I don't know if that's a bad idea. I've only got one set out right now. They don't even really care about it, but I was watching the bees earlier today at lunchtime. There was lots of pollen coming into the hive. I'm hoping pollen means nectar as well, but I'm not 100% about that. So I'm gonna get on with this. I'm gonna start cleaning some frames. I've got 10 frames left to clean, and then we are gonna move on to putting these honey supers on the three hives that I want to put them on. So what I'm going to do is start with cleaning these frames. and we'll just kind of go from there. That finalizes that. I've got 10 clean frames, a clean box-ish. It's pretty good. I'm gonna put the inserts back into the frames, put them into the box, get the other 2 boxes cleaned up, put these frames back in after inspecting them. But they all look pretty good. So I'm gonna put them back in, see what the bees do with them. So we're walking back in. As you can tell, we're walking through a canola field. These are my tracks that I made on day 1. I'm still kind of just using them as my highway. Some of the canola is growing in, some of it's not. So I feel like partially responsible for that. Hopefully my bees give back more canola than I'm stepping on. So that's the goal. Nice material, padded palms. It's kind of nice, but I can see how these will be good for the bees, especially when you get honey and wax on them. I feel like they're just gonna be terrible, like my $8 gloves that I bought. So we're gonna take off some lids. I'm gonna open up all the hives. I've changed my mind. I'm just gonna open up the lids. I'm just gonna allow everybody to see what's going on. I've been lackluster in the content of the bees. This right here is split number 1. So this split was the very first split, along with that one in the corner. What I've done is I placed them across from each other. This is a split, that one, and this one. That's a split with this one over here, which you can't see it. It's behind the stacks of just empty frames. I've left them open. I don't know if that's a bad idea. It probably is. This split is the split with that one. So that's getting a honey super. This hive right here is getting a super. And that hive right there is getting a, no, that hive right there is getting a super. So this is split number 1 of the week hive. Couple bees on the lid, and we have 1, 2, 3.5 frames of bees. They're buzzing a little bit, but that's okay. We'll allow them to buzz a little bit. That's fine. I'm hoping that there's either a queen in there, or queen cells, or eggs. This is the other, oh, This isn't right. This is the other half of that split. So I'm hoping either the queen is in this box or the queen is in that box. We will find out on Saturday with what's going on. 2 bees, 3, 4, 5 bees in the lid. And I don't know if you can see it from here, but I squished down a bunch of comb into there that had a bunch of brood. I'm going to pull some frames, everything but that. I'm going to pull every frame probably on Saturday, except for this frame, and I'm going to allow that space to stay. If I see eggs, I'm going to be happy. If I don't see eggs, I'm just going to leave that area and just hope that they put a queen cell in there. I'm not going to tear it apart. I don't want to risk ruining it. Bad idea in hindsight to do that, but that's my fix, is I'm just going to leave them. I'm going to hope the queen's in here. You can see they've got new comb in there, so that's good. We've got lots of bees in this area. I don't know, probably a frame and a half worth, 2.5, 3.5 frames of bees in here. So that's not amazing, but it's not less than what we put in here. So we're going to open up the second split. This is the top box of the second split. And lots of bees. Lots of bees in the lid. Lots of bees on the excluder. Couple drones. But we don't know if the queen's in this box or if the queen is in this box over here. So I'm not pulling this excluder off until Saturday. That'll give them enough time, but I am going to put a honey super on them right now, as we have one. These are 2 new frames I put side to side. In hindsight, bad idea. I should have put one here, but either way, we've got 1 frame, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames of bees in here. I'm going to put a honey super on just as I want them to have more space. I don't know if this is a bad idea, but I'm going to do it anyways. This is the honey super right here. We're going to put this on. I'm just going to lift it on carefully. I'm just going to put the super on. Just moving the bees out of the way. And we should be okay. That's honey super number 1. The queen excluder is a little bit funky. I don't have the right size box on here either. So I'm actually going to change this because I have a smaller box over here. This one. So I'm going to make sure that they match up. The queen excluder is still going to stick out, but the boxes are pretty close. So I've got that spaced out a little bit better. I'm going to put these bees back on. Lots of bees in the lid. This is the other half of the second split. So I'm going to guess that one had about 6 frames in it. I'm going to guess that this one's about 8 because this hive was pretty strong. A few bees in the lid. And yeah, very strong. Lots of drones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count 6, 7 drones at least on the on top of the excluder here. We have, this frame is glued together, these 2 frames, but there's bees crawling in between. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5 frames of bees in here. So this hive right now is very busy. I'm standing right in front of the entrance. I think that they're definitely due for having a honey super. I don't know if the queen's in here or if she's in there. I imagine she's in here. I just kind of feel like she is, but we're gonna find out. On Saturday, I'm gonna be pulling frames, looking for the queen again, seeing if I can find her in this hive, and I wanna see if I can find her in that one. I also wanna see if there's queen cells, eggs, larvae, so on and so forth. I don't know if you've seen that, but that was my boss right there. You probably can't see him. He's leaving with the sprayer. We're standing right now in front of this hive. I'm gonna put the honey super on right now. I've got to get some of these bees out of the way. They're buzzing my tower a little bit right now. I'm gonna spin this lid around. I do like having the double entrance, but oh, the drones are coming back. These are just drones flying around me. Yeah, very buzzy. They sound very, very different. I don't know, they're all flying into the front side. They want to go up. I'm gonna flip this back around. I'm having a change of heart 2 times. So we're putting the last honey super on. This is the split from that. I call it the main hive. I'm gonna come up with names for these hives because I think it's fun. So, but that's the main hive right there. This is the split from it. This hive was incredible. It was my 3rd hive that I split. Very happy with results. Just a few bees in the lid. Oh no. That bee got stuck. That's sad. Okay, we're gonna put that down. Mosquitoes are biting my butt. Gotta pull my pants up. I see a queen cell. I see a queen cell right on top. I think they're building a queen cell right there. So that's a great sign, because this hive right here, I know for a fact does not have a queen, because the queen is in the bottom box of that hive over there. So this hive has no queen, but they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 frames full. Not sure what's going on here. That's the new frame that I added on the end. It needs, maybe it's not, but it needs a better scrape. It looks very dirty. When I get in here on Saturday looking for the queen cells, I'm going to scrape that off a little bit, clean this hive up a bit. I've got a few drones sitting around on the top. Well, actually, they're all clustered right there. I've got 5, 6 of them all clustered at the top. But I'm gonna put a honey super on here as well. They didn't like that. I blew on them a little bit. But they will like this. Biting my butt again. All right, so that's all the honey supers in place. I'm gonna check them out on Saturday, see how they're doing. If I feel like they need to get a super, they probably won't. They're pretty weak hive right now, so I'm probably just gonna allow them to build up. And they can store all their honey inside of their hive. That's okay, it's fine with me. Even if I don't get honey from this hive and that hive this year, I'll be okay with that. As long as they both get a queen, that's my ultimate goal. I'm gonna put this hive back together, and that's gonna wrap up this portion of today. Today is Wednesday, exactly 1 week of having these bees. Hey everyone, I want to take this opportunity to stop you in your tracks and say thank you for being you. This has been quite eventful. This wraps up episode 3. We put in quite a bit of work, but honestly, I'm a little bit amazed. I've got a lot more content in the bank than I have released, so I'm pretty excited about that. That's going to allow me to continue bringing you guys content on a weekly basis. The biggest problem that I'm having is trying to organize this footage so I can find it and give it back to you guys later. I lose it in my computer all the time. I've lost a plethora of footage already, but I still have so much more, so I'm not too concerned. Once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you made it to this point in the video and you still haven't touched that red subscribe button down below, it's a pretty good opportunity to do so. Come on, let's be friendly. And if you haven't already, make sure that you like this video. Stop in next week on Saturday for episode number 4. I'm starting to make some big moves. Some of you old school beekeepers might be cringing and wanting to pull your hair out and smack me across the face. I understand, I accept it, I'll do it for you. Don't even want to give any spoilers because people will be like, oh my god, Tristan, what are you doing? You're so dumb. I understand, I'm pretty stupid, but I'm working on it. See ya.